be a politician in today's Greece, Greece affected by the crisis. I see you replaced the previous romantic landscape with it's not a very good initiative, but anyway, I would like to congratulate you for, not for this initiative, but for the initiative to organize the MBA studies here in Greece. It's a success for the university, and it is more than welcome by us, I think, but by the whole political system. As you know, we have some rigidities in our constitution, not permitting Greece to become an international educational center. That's why we are a bit jealous of Britain. Of course, I don't compare your tradition with higher education with our tradition. However, our ambition is to liberalize our system, to abolish all the constraints provided in our constitution, and to have a modern system as far as the higher education is concerned. Because it is a bit bizarre to have in Greece foreign universities. As I said, every university is welcome, but not foreign students. This is our ambition as far as democracy is concerned, at least. But anyway, at the moment, we have to rely on the system we have. We have to encourage initiatives like yours, and I would like to congratulate everybody involved, professors, students, everybody involved in the process, and keep up the good work. Congratulations, and all the best to the students and to the professors. Thank you. Thank
you very much, Mr. Strathclyde. Thank you very much for this speech. Now, if I may invite on the stand Dr. Gratsos. As a representative of the shipping sector, we are delighted to have in our MBA program lots of students that are working in the shipping sector. So this is a very good opportunity to hear more from somebody as renowned as Dr. Gratsos. Please.
I hope to live up to that. Dear Dean, dear Deputy Ambassador, dear Vice President, dear Opposition, I'll try to be as brief as possible. This is an executive MBA program. People that will graduate will be called upon to take decisions. And so taking decisions needs a lot of information, education, ability to understand and all that kind of thing. We live in an interconnected world with infinite feedback loops. Everything has a feedback loop. You can't imagine how many there are. So everything has to do with something else as well. Under the circumstances, it's necessary to be able to understand the whole picture. And I think it is very important for any university to give the whole picture and not part of it. And not only that, but to generate critical thinking and definitely not rote learning in Greek papagalia. Because this is not the way that you can build on anything. Then education cannot be one-sided, in my opinion. I mean, you must create a whole person. When my father has a PhD in chemistry from Zurich University, and when I was going to MIT, I asked him, what can I expect of the university? And he told me, my son, the only thing they can teach you is how to think and where to find things. The rest you do. So I think this is still something that is quite important. I mean, you can't say that this is so because the teacher said so. You must have a much better answer than that if you are to understand what we're talking about. So the university must give you a complete, in my opinion, view, not one-sided. I mean, it's interdisciplinary. You can't be an engineer, and I studied naval architecture, without knowing what the hell you're doing building a ship. I mean, therefore you need economics. Therefore you need also a lot of other things. That the university must be able to give that to you, so that you know where you fit in the chain of things, because everything is a chain. And I think that it is quite important to quote to you what Mr. Einstein said. I don't know if I'll say it exactly as he was quoted, but he's been quoted saying the same thing differently, so it's okay. You can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking that was used to create them. So you must be able to think out of a box, to do lateral thinking, to be able to combine things differently. It's not, you don't solve a problem one way, there's more than one way. Let's put it this way. This is closer to physical sciences, but if the experiment doesn't prove the theory, you junk the theory. The experiment is the truth. The theory was obviously wrong. So one has to be able to do it that way. And this, unfortunately, the bureaucratic thinking, the rigidities and ideologies are destructive. And I think one extremely interesting quote that is quite helpful. It's by John Kenneth Galbraith, who was for 50 years a Harvard faculty member. Nothing to do with the newer one. In capitalist and socialist systems alike, ideology can become a substitute for painful thought. It is mentally easier to rely on past teachings than to face up to their current irrelevance. And I think this is an extremely good quote of a very thoughtful person, because a lot of things that were taught or considered sacrosanct some time ago are now irrelevant. I think, Dean, you mentioned something about jobs being destroyed and all that kind of stuff. Yes, that's creative destruction. But there is, I was looking, well, the occasion was because I had been president of the Chamber of Shipping for 15 years until I stepped down. And I had met 15 ministers. I had lived under 15 ministers. And one of the great problems that we had was with the manning requirements on the passenger vessels. And every minister used to tell me that, you know, I used to tell him that Greek ships have 20% greater manning requirements than what, let's say, the rest of European ships have, etc., etc. And, you know, he said, yes, I know that and all that, but I'm not going to create unemployment in my watch. So I decided that I was trying to give him all the explanations why it would be better if he did, because it would reduce the costs, it would improve the living standards of the people in the islands, who would be able to have cheaper transport, increase the tourism, but tourism, 75% of the tourists go to the Greek islands. So this kind of thinking did not persuade him. So I eventually looked up in Google creative destruction, and I came up with a wonderful paper done by Caballero, Professor Caballero of MIT, which was only 6.5 pages long, and in which he said that 50% of the productivity gains of the American economy were done through creative destruction in the post